So this moron on YouTube called Claus Kellerman decided to make a video about World of Tanks called Is RNG Just Secret Russian Bias? Now I know what you're thinking, it's probably a parody. But it's not, is the sad part.
Or say, hey guys, it's Klaus, welcome back to another video. I want to talk to you guys today about a theory I'm working on. Well, it's not really a theory. Well, let me give you the steps. Things start off with, like, you have a feeling. Through your experiences, you feel something. And then you start to observe a pattern. And if you're interested in it, you start documenting your observations based on the original feeling you had. And you come up with data that you can analyze. And sometimes you formulate a theory based on those steps.
I mean, listen to this guy. So boring, so lazy, just absolute trash. What is this intro? Trying to block criticism, obviously, but it is so boring. I'm just gonna skip it. I have never heard somebody try to defend themselves so hard. It's just a theory, a game theory.
Describe, or the guy that sat under the tree and had that kind of weird feeling like something strange is going to happen. The apple fell on his head, and then he went through all those steps over numbers of years, and there we understand gravity. Look at this. I'm going to explain this to you now. This
is the frame before he fires. Notice he's not fully aimed in because he's not good at the game.
My theory. It started off with this feeling. Now I just took that shot. Did you see that where that shot landed? Let me just show you what's happening here. I'm playing artillery there. Now look at this. This is my circle, oblong or ellipse or whatever you want to call it. That's where the shell could possibly land, and that's where I was aiming. And the shell landed there.
Listen to this guy. Who is your audience? Aren't you a World of Tanks, like, YouTuber? Don't you think your audience already knows this? Like, holy padding shit.
See that? Oh, well, it didn't land exactly where I was aiming, but it landed inside this aiming circle right there, a little off from where I aimed.
Notice how malicious this guy's being here. I'm showing you right now. He was not fully aimed in, but now he is. He's trying to explain that, oh, look how far away it was from the center. But that's not what your aiming reticle was. You're literally lying. On top of that, you're far more accurate in World of Tanks when you're fully aimed in than if you're 99% aimed in. And I'll go into that in just a bit when we look at the articles and all that, but just remember, he is lying. He is not fully aimed in, or he is fully aimed in, even though he was not when he took the shot.
That's called RNG, Klaus, you would be saying. And you're right, you're right. Now this is what I want to talk to you about today. Yes, that's RNG. The game decided that shell should land there. I didn't decide that. I just aimed here. The game made the shell land where it did. RNG. But what is RNG? Is it a random number generator? And this is the feeling I've been getting. I don't believe it's random. I think it's a Russian number generator. Now watch this. Okay, let's take another shot. Where's the shell going to land? Let's see where it'll land. Oh, it landed right there and it killed that guy. The vehicle destroyed. Let's look at the oblong there. Okay, there's where I was aiming.
Again, with explaining basic things about the game to your audience, stop doing that. Unless your audience is meant to be people who don't play the game, which it obviously isn't. Your audience is not retarded.
You see? And the shell landed there.
Well, that's where the shell hit the target. Again, you should know this. The shell would have flown further if it hadn't been stopped by an object, aka the target.
Not exactly where I was aiming, and it killed that French artillery. It landed right there, inside the circle, and it killed him. RNG.
Yes. Is your audience retarded?
Well, the feeling I'm having, and I think I've felt it, I've experienced it, and now I've observed it quite often, game after game after game. And I'm starting to document it and
Mommy, look at me, I'm a scientist. Aren't I so special? I totally know what I'm talking about because I'm a scientist. Yay!
Start getting data and analysis. After hundreds of games I've played now in my sheriff's account, I play artillery in my sheriff's account. I've noticed this. And I'm at the documentation stage, and I'm going to share it with you because I have found that when I shoot or aim at any vehicles from any nations other than Russian tanks, then my RNG behaves in a certain way. But when I aim at, look, I could be shooting this guy now, he's in the open, but I'm trying to test. I want to stun this object that is behind the house. So this is my circle, look at it. And it's on the building there. You see right on the edge like this. So the shell could land anywhere on the building or on the other side of the building over here, and I'm hopefully going to stun this object. That's what I want to do. So let's see where the shell goes now. Let's see. No!
What do you know? It hit the side of the building because there's like a 5% chance it would have hit that target. You could only have ever hit the top of his tank, just barely. This is why I say you're being malicious, because you know that. You know it was probably not going to hit the tank. And instead of using the tank in the open to see if it would have hit him, you decide to shoot the tank that's behind cover. You could rarely ever hit and decide to say, oh, that's that Russian bias because I could not hit the tank that I had like a 0% chance of hitting, if not maybe a 2% chance of hitting. Must be that Russian bias. Stop blaming the game because you suck at it.
Did you see where it landed? Oh, Klaus, that's just RNG. Well, look closely. Look closely at the... it should land in here, right? Inside this this dotted outline. It landed there.
And here he is, lying straight to your face, expecting you to believe him. We saw with our own eyes, we saw the bullet hit the side of the building, and I was claiming it landed in the street, on that little concrete area. It hit the side of the building. We know it. Who are you trying to fool, you retarded moron?
This is my observation. This is, I've had the feeling, I've had the experience, I'm observing it and documenting it now. And this is just me. It hasn't been proven. It's not even a theory yet. It's at the theory stage.
It's not a theory, but it's at the theory stage.
But I believe that RNG in this game is not random. And when I aim at Russian targets in my artillery, then I just get the feeling, and I observe and I have the experience that my shell, the dispersion is greater, that I more often than not miss. Now look at this. Okay, I'm going to pause it here. My shell should land, I know, it's what, 80% open here, and about 20% of it is blocked by that building.
You can see that it is maybe about at most 60% chance of hitting, 40% chance of missing. At most 60%. He is lying. He is lying to your face and expecting you to believe it, because he is bad at the game and wants to find excuses.
And I'm trying to shoot at an object in this same game where I've hit lots of other tanks easily with shots like this, and I even move it a little bit more. Where's the shell going to land now? I mean, there's an object. There's 10 or 20% chance it's going to land there, and 70-80% chance it's going to land here and stuff.
10% chance, he says. 10.
On him. Now he does drive away, but there, it lands on the building. And I know what you're saying. Klaus, this is just one or two examples. This is, that doesn't prove anything. But I just the amount of times it's happened over and over and over again in the same game. Now watch this. There's an American tank behind this building. I'm going to take the same shot I took just a minute ago in the same game. The exact same shot. I haven't moved. Look now. See, this is where my shell should land. Somewhere in there, and if it lands on the building, it's going to stun that tank that's sitting here. Let's see where my shell goes now, because I'm not shooting at an object now. I'm shooting at an American tank, so let's let the shell fly right about in here. As soon as I'm loaded, just be patient. We're trying to learn something here. I had a shot on him, but I'm just doing this to see. Okay, now I take the shot. Where's it going to go? On the building, in the circle, and there's the stunned American tank. Now, you remember when I just did this same shot at the object, the shell should land somewhere in here, and the object was in the same spot, and like the shell landed here for the American guy. I stunned him, but when I shot the object, it landed here. Now,
this is his entire video. He just lies and lies and lies. Holy shit. There's no point in going any further. It's this exact same thing. Lies, complains, says, oh no, it's not my bad, it's the enemy's or Wargaming's fault for making Russian bias. And the worst part is, his audience is so far down the rabbit hole that they believe him. I mean, look at this. He has 1,700 likes to 100 dislikes. Look at these comments. People believe him. I mean, his audience is insane. The top one says, not so secret, really. You're just the first content provider to point it out, then make excuses and call us crazy. For that, thank you, Klaus. Another reason I watch you. Holy cow. His audience is full of people like this. Look at this. Of course, RNG is Russian bias. You spot them, they spot you, Russian tank. They don't aim at you. You miss, they turn the turret and snap, and get your ammo rack, you explode. What do I have to say if it's not Russian bias after all? Whether there's Russian bias in the game or not does not mean there's Russian bias in the accuracy. What is this? I believe your theory and my observation is that there are other manipulations of game mechanics which go on behind the scenes. Holy cow, these people are so far down the rabbit hole. And they think it's all of the game's fault when they lose. It's never their fault. Leaving this article, a link to it in the description below. Please click on it and read it. Do not let Claus trick you. He does not mention any of this whenever he makes the video. He doesn't mention how accuracy works, doesn't explain that whenever you're fully aimed, you are far more accurate than when you're 99% aimed. And 99 through 0% aimed, you have the same dispersion compared, but with 100% aimed in, you have a different dispersion. He does not explain this. And he tries to make ridiculous shots, and he just lies and lies and lies. But read this article. This will make you better at the game. A lot of his shots in that video, he was fully aimed in if he wasn't shooting at a Russian tank, but not fully aimed in when he was shooting at a Russian tank. And he wondered why they were being so far off. This will explain it. Read this article. It's very good.